Right, there we go. Okay, so somebody else waiting to come in. Okay, so if it's a normal format, if we have sort of very quick round the table in case we've got any new faces here, just introduction, who you are and your role, and then we could talk a little bit more what's happening in your world just a little bit later in the meeting. So yeah, I've introduced, I could see Sally and Andrew in my top left corner. So if we start with you.
I'm Sally. I'm Angela. We're Worcestershire Macmillan Citizens Advice case support workers. So we take the referrals for our service.
Lovely. Teresa?
Sorry, I was on mute. I'm Teresa and I work for Worcestershire Macmillan Citizens Advice and I'm a benefits advisor.
Lovely, thank you. And obviously Jean rather than James, isn't it? Just want to introduce yourself.
I'm Jean Brown and I'm the secretary for the Ross on Wye Cancer Support Group.
Come back to Sophia. We'll move on to Claire then. Yeah.
Which one? And Claire, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry, I've got on my screen, I've got Claire Arthur. Sorry, yeah.
Morning, sorry, my computer wouldn't play. Yeah, Claire Arthur, Macmillan Information Support Service lead for Worcester Royal Hospital. So I run the south of the service. Thank you.
Andrew, are you there?
Yep, so I'm Andrew and I'm one of the benefits advisors for Worcestershire and Citizens Advice, alongside Teresa, and I generally cover the south of Worcestershire.
Try Sophia again. Sophia, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me all right?
We can, yeah.
Yeah, because I can't always hear you, Sonia. I don't know what's going on. I don't think I heard you last time. So I'm Safia and I work at St Richard's Hospice for Citizens Advice.
I've got Kay next.
Hi everyone, my name's Kay Bruton and I'm the Comms and Engagement Officer for the VCSE Voluntary Community Sector Alliance in Worcestershire.
Yes, we're going to come back to you in a little bit. That's lovely. Next, I've got Ben.
Morning, everyone. Ben Furley, Living with and Beyond Cancer, Project Manager for Worcestershire.
Thank you. Sophie.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm the cancer support worker for colorectal, head and neck and upper GI at Wye Valley Trust.
Lovely, thank you. And sorry, other Claire then.
Hi, I'm Claire Williams. I'm the Living with and Beyond Cancer Clinical Nurse Specialist for Worcester.
And I've got Jo behind me.
Hi, I'm Jo Appleby. I work with the Macmillan Benefits team in Hereford.
Lovely, thank you. So yeah, welcome. I know we're all, we find it a very busy time in our sector, definitely. Before we go on to some sort of updates, Kay, who's joined us specifically, just to give us an update on their alliance and what they're doing. So would you like to take the floor then, Kay?
Yeah, sure. Sorry. Yes, thank you very much for having me. Thank you, Sally, for inviting me. I believe Esther's spoken with you before, did a presentation earlier on in the year. So I'll just give you a brief summary of what we're doing and where we're at. At the moment, I kind of feel like we're a bit detached from the important work you guys are doing on the ground, but we are getting closer and closer to you. So the VCSE Alliance is it's a collective, a group of currently 24 community sector organisations in Worcestershire, all working with or very closely connected to health and wellbeing services and issues and support. we have formed to be able to be a single point of contact to feed into the NHS integrated care system. These are happening all over the country within county areas. So we are, we're kind of the conduit for voluntary community sector organisations feeding into strategic and operational work within the Health and Care Trust and other ICS components. And the idea is that we become equal partners. We are valued for our innovation, our ability to think really quickly, act really quickly, and your specialist knowledge and ability to work with people in the community. So it's very early days still. Esther probably said that 6 months ago, but it's still early days for the setup of it. We're still formulating the governance of how the alliance will work, so we do a really good, efficient job right from the start. Eventually the alliance members group will grow. There are currently subgroups to help shape how it's all formulated. Probably I'll go on to some things that are perhaps particularly interesting for you guys. So we've got various work streams. At the moment, the most one with most sort of traction and investment in terms of actual funding, but also sort of investment in confidence and belief from the trust is support for the VCSE to up its operations in helping people who are on mental health support waiting lists. So as we know, GP services are just overwhelmed, and we know that there's a lot of things already going on out in the community. So for between January and March of this year, we've been allocated £100,000 to sort of top up or ramp up the work that we're doing with preventative care. So things like the Wellbeing Recovery College will be invested in a little bit more, and other things across the county. That funding will then be increased between for the rest of the year. So I think it's £400,000, and then hopefully by then we'll have a sort of regular monetary investment, and we can really showcase what's going on the ground, and we then are an integral part of the ICS. That's the vision. But the preventative non-clinical stuff is what we're really going to be focusing on, because we know that's what VCS is best at. So in terms of work streams, other ones in the pipeline, there are hospital discharge is one that we need to be working a lot more on. Perhaps some of you guys will be involved in that, or certainly your colleagues. And also as we go on and as we move into the alliance work, hopefully as topics come up from us attending meetings like this, you've been able to feed into your networks, new work streams will appear, and if we see an urgent need, or the Health and Care Trust see an urgent need, then that's when we can sort of have a bit of a call to arms and act as an alliance. Let me see what else might be interesting for you guys. Trustee briefings. I don't know if is that particularly relevant to you. I don't know. We're holding a series of trustee briefings early in the new year, so that you'll probably know that trustees are vital in helping shape the strategic vision of charitable organisations. So we kind of need the integrated care system strategies to be embedded right from the roots up of charities. So that's why we need to make sure trustees are on board. So what would be fab would be if anybody feels that they'd like to be kept up to date with the alliance developments and other related health and wellbeing VCS news for the county. We'd love for you to sign up to our newsletter. It's not actually, we have a sign up webpage at the moment, and then the newsletter will start coming through in the new year. The alliance attends a lot of strategic boards, so things like the Worcester Executive Committee, Wellbeing Board. So a lot of the information will be hopefully presented or passed on to you in a more digestible format through the newsletter, so that you can be kept up to date with the things that are going on at a strategic level, as well as some news from in the community as well. So I can send a link for you for that if you'd like to sign up to that newsletter. And you can also follow the work that we are doing on social media, and we're very happy to share things that you might post as well, or your colleagues might post. If you think they were useful resources, we can post those. Does anyone have any questions?
That's really useful to seeing how it's developing, and I think it's going to be quite a very worthwhile community going on there. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I hope so. There's a lot of there's so much going on, and to connect it all in a really equitable and effective way, it does take time, and it's because we see it's such an important thing to do. There's a tendency to just get on with it, but you kind of have to really see what's going on first to do a good job of connecting it all. So yeah.
Lovely. Anybody got any questions for Kay? Yes, Jane. Sorry.
Oh, is there an equivalent in Herefordshire as well?
Yeah, that's a good question. So in Herefordshire, it's called the Community Partnership.
Yeah.
Which is very much led by Health Watch.
Ah, yes.
And HFOS are involved in it. It's a slightly different structure in Herefordshire, something to do with, I don't know the detail, I'm afraid, something to do with the funding and the sort of how it's been commissioned. I don't know the details, but slightly different structure. It's basically in Herefordshire, anyone can feed into it, anyone can be part of it. It is genuinely a community partnership. Here it's much more, at the moment at least, established charities that are shaping it, but that may well evolve, and I think that's the hope, for it to be proper community-led health. Everyone needs to be involved, but yeah.
Will there be a newsletter with them as well? Because I'd like to have your newsletter, if I may.
Yeah, sure. I'll put the link in the chat, or maybe Sonia, somebody can share it.
Yeah, if you want to forward it to, I can make sure it's shared around. Yeah, that's lovely.
I'll put it in here as well.
Put in the link and I'll share it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know. I'm quite sure there'll be a newsletter for the Herefordshire Partnership one. I know they have very regular meetings, I think often at the Kindle Centre.
So he's the chairman of our group, and he will attend that. So but any newsletters would be brilliant, because
yes,
we don't have to go to the meeting, but we know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, good for you. Yeah. I'll see. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Perfect. And then here, if anyone wants to sign up to our Alliance newsletter, there you go. Just go to that. It's a web page, but it's just a sign up page at the moment, because the website's in development. And actually, that'll be a great resource for you as well to hop onto eventually when it's filled with stuff.
That's really, really positive news. Thank you very much, Kay. So
thanks again. Hopefully next time we come and talk to you, we'll have hopefully some things to invite you to as well. Like there's going to be an assembly next year of community sector groups, and yeah, thank you. Thanks again.
Fabulous. Thanks for joining us. So what we normally do, Kay, is we just go around the group to see what's happening in the various services. So shall I make a start with Ben, because I believe you have to go quite early, don't you, to another meeting?
Yeah, I do. Cheers. Thank you, Sonia. Appreciate it. So we had our first health and wellbeing event for patients 2 weeks ago. Went really well. Massive thank you to Andrew for coming along and talking to patients. They got a lot out of it. It was a really good day. think we had 18 patients in all, but they brought sort of carers and family with them as well. Evaluated really well. So we're looking to rerun that in spring, possibly in Kidderminster Way. So Andrew, just to give you a heads up if you're available for that, but I will let you know the details near the time. But yeah, really good engagement from patients, and they got a lot out of the information that was sent to them. So that's we're really grateful for that. What else we got going on? Very busy in the hubs. I'm sure Claire will agree with. We're looking to interview another support worker tomorrow, which will help with Claire in the south. We have Kim in the north as well. Much like you, it's just very busy time of year with patients coming in, either in person or submitting holistic needs assessments. So yeah, we've got the have I mentioned the app on here before to people? Somebody nod. No, nobody's nodding. Okay, we're building a cancer services app for patients, which will bring together a lot of our sort of partners in the community with information. So we've now had that all signed off, and we'll be going live in January. So will be contacting you all. If you can just give me sort of specific links that I can put on this app, I can share the sort of the headlines of the app of what it will do. So it basically means that the patients will go into the app and they can automatically click straight through into your services or particular areas. So there's like a financial advice button they click through, or if they need to apply for the blue badge, they can go through it directly. So I'm hoping, don't take my word for it at this stage, but I'm hoping this will alleviate some of the pressure for yourselves, because they could access a lot of information directly through the app. But I'll send you out some information, and if you can just reply with what information you feel would be useful to go on it, it'd be great. And then perhaps at the next meeting we can have a sort of a bit of a brainstorm session. I can give you a demo of what the app looks like, what sort of ideas you come back with, and then we can take it from there. But that is it from my bit. I'm sure Claire have their own bits they want to update on, so I shall hand over to them if they have anything else they want to add. Thank you, Sonia.
Yeah, I think that sounds really useful. As you say, alleviate the pressure in the hubs and phone lines for people just wanting signposting, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's the idea.
Lovely. Thanks, Ben. That's wonderful. Any questions for Ben? Okay. So I'll go around clockwise. I've got Sophie next to Ben. Would you like to just give us an update, Sophie?
We've got a new derm support worker who's just started with us. So he'll be based at Jail Street, which is it's not a building sort of set within the hospital. He is actually here if you want to pop and give a wave, Gary.
Morning, everyone. Morning.
Hello. Yeah, we're just training Gary at the moment. We in Hereford, Jackie, a colleague of mine, we've set up 5K Your Way. I believe there's already one in Worcester. So we're running that end of the month every month. I think that's about it really from Hereford.
Thank you, Sophie. Claire Williams, next to Sophie.
Hi, no, just to mirror what Ben says, really. The health and wellbeing event was really well received, so looking forward to doing that one again. Apologies, my dog's barking. But no, just pushing on the H&As and trying to get as many people, kind of the uptake of that to increase, just to offer a really thorough holistic needs for everyone that passes through our doors, really. So I think that's kind of more of a mountain every time we look at it. So that's kind of my focus, and just to bring as many people through our doors and your doors as possible. So that's about it, really.
Lovely, thank you, Claire. I don't know, Alison, are you there? I can't show your camera's off, but I don't know if you're actually there. If you want to say
I am here, Sonia. I am.
Hello, Alison. Good to see you.
How are you? Yeah, not really much of an update from me. Still really struggling with the vacancy in the service. So there's just me on half-time hours in here. Hopefully they're looking to recruit. We'll start the recruitment to that soon, but don't anticipate anyone being in post this side, at the end of the financial year, really. So that's obviously having a major impact on what we do in here. Although I have got some bank support now 3 days a week, which is really good. We are hoping to do a bit of collaborative working across AHP, CNS and this service in January to do just a little bit of a push on sort of health promotion generally, linking, off the back of everyone trying to get motivated in January and the New Year's resolution. So going to work with the AHP a little bit about guidance around goal setting and keeping motivated, particular drive on smoking cessation and healthy eating elements. So that's the only sort of real plan on the horizon at the moment.
Great, thank you, Alison. Wonderful. So Andrew, service in Worcester CIB.
I think, well, you'll probably know more about it than me, but at least from South Worcestershire, we've been very busy, which I think is, sort of the flow on from the pods. Yes, otherwise pretty much the same as it has been for the past few quarters, just getting on with it. Yeah,
just trying to get through the workload. I mean, obviously, I know we, as a service, there hasn't been a let up in quite often. There's a let up in December, but we're not seeing that in terms of referrals. So yeah, thank you, Andrew. Claire Arthur, what's going on?
Hi there. Yes, good morning. I think the same flavour as everybody else. I think you've had practically our whole team here today, so I shall fill in the gaps, fill in my bit. As Ben said, we had the health and wellbeing event. The feeling here is just of kind of relentless, complex referrals all the time. And as Ben says, we are interviewing again on Friday for another support worker. So I'm really hoping we'll recruit to get some help. So we're getting a lot of referrals from the clinical team, from the radiotherapy team, and we're trying to advertise our service, and obviously the more we do that, the more referrals we get, which is great, but it does feel busy at the moment. So yeah, we're looking forward to getting a bigger team and moving forward next week. Yeah, we're doing hope courses are ongoing. Ange Gillett and I have recently run one. Ange is currently running another one. We ran one in Worcester. It's a 6-week course. For those who don't know what hope is, I think most people probably do. It is very much centered around people who are living with and beyond cancer, to build resilience, to support them in moving forward with the support of gratitude diaries, looking at sleep, looking at any kind of concerns with the sort of the power of the group. It is rooted in psychological theory and it's really well received. So that is a rolling programme. We've had plenty of referrals through the clinical team, through the health and wellbeing event. So we will continue in the same vein, looking to hopefully get more people who can help us to train. So both Ben and Claire Williams have trained, so they'll be supporting the team next year. We're also looking at developing a programme for palliative patients, which will kick off next year. So we've got lots in the lots in the pipeline, yeah, exciting times ahead. Just need some more people on the ground to do the work, but it's all good. Yeah, it's all good.
Is it, isn't it? Resources, definitely. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Claire.
Thank you.
Sophia.
Morning, everyone. So yeah, me and Lynn, who I job share with for Citizens Advice, mainly doing welfare benefits at St Richard's Hospice. We're just really busy, and that was a really good word, Claire, relentless. So, something, because part of St Richard's role in the family support team is that we give that extra, end of life care, communication, but actually some of it is becoming quite mechanical because we just haven't got time So it doesn't sit easy with us because we like to do the TLC, if you like, but you know, I couldn't remember who I worked with yesterday morning. Couldn't remember their name at all. I'd have to look everything up. So it's just boom, 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 boom. So that's how it's been. And the times of year when you think you're going to get a little bit of a let up, which is December and August, it just didn't happen. So, you know, your mind is conditioned to sort of wind down, but you can't wind down. So, and just having your holidays is becoming a little bit, well, I haven't got time to have my holiday. But anyway, we're plodding on and trying to keep positive, and yeah, that's me.
Thank you. I know that's difficult, but yeah. Jean, what's going on with your service?
Thank you. Yes, we've been quite busy actually. We had the cancer information event in September, really well supported by all the different organisations, yourselves included, and the NHS. Brilliant day for networking, but not so many visitors. The same applies then to our monthly cancer support, Ross Cancer Support Group meetings, the same thing, you know, not many people turning up. However, we did have a meeting last night and this gentleman turned up and he's had prostate cancer and he was really keen to get the message out there for men to go and have the checks and things. So a plan came into my mind. So we're thinking possibly in our March meeting, we'll make it focused on prostate cancer and sort of try and open it up that way as well. So we'll have a look at, and he's a lecturer, so he would be quite confident, you know, when advising. So, you know, we'll see how it goes anyway. The other thing is, my husband had a PET scan in Cobalt Centre in Cheltenham on Monday. And I'm not sure if you're all aware of, but they've actually got a brand new PET scan there. It's about a couple of months old. It's only second one in the UK. £2 million is cost. And of course, it's about half an hour less for somebody to go through that scan. So really good stuff going on there as well.
Thank you, Jean. That sounds really positive. Yeah, I think that's a useful idea if you're focusing on highlighting one sort of like for prostate cancer. It targets the patients you're looking at, then, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Jean. Teresa, what's going on in your area?
I don't think I've got much more to add than Andrew, really, just that everybody's keeping us busy and we're just trying to get through it. A lot of extra what am I trying to say? A lot of benefit appeals are sort of working their way through now, and it's yeah, quite intense for some people.
There's more appeals needed at the moment. Are they not going?
I'm doing some mandatory reconsiderations at the moment, and yeah, I think a lot of them are ending up at appeal. I don't know if Andrew's finding that. I'm not sure. But yeah,
we've had a few.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't seem right that somebody, you know, who's been
diagnosed
with an illness that needs to go through the process of challenging the decision, does it really?
It's very difficult. So we're just trying to support everybody, really, aren't we, Andrew and Kate, obviously, who's not here today, and the team in the office, Sally and Ange. You know, it's a lot of support's needed at the moment, I think, for everybody, from everybody. So yeah. Okay, so I'll just continue doing what I'm doing.
Lovely, thank you, Teresa. So that's Sally and Ange there. So I mean, obviously a lot of things been brought up. If you wanted to add anything?
Yeah, I don't think so. More of the same, really. I think everyone's captured it very well.
I think it's the complexity of all the issues that clients are seeing, isn't it? The patients are, you know, because they're not just cancer patients. They they've been affected by the same cost of living crisis that the wider population are. And so you've got those additional issues to consider, like help with the energy bills, household support fund, all of that, all the extra bits of work that in better times you wouldn't have to be thinking about. So yeah, it's I think as been reflected going around the table, it's relentless and hard going for all of us, but I think such a dedicated group of people, it's lovely to see you soldiering on. Yeah. Okay. Just thinking, so I haven't missed anybody, have I? No. So
say about Hereford. Sorry, did you want me to say about Hereford? Did you want me to say about Hereford too?
Oh, sorry, she's sitting right next to me.
It was just to give an update from the Hereford side of things, really, for the benefits team. Ruth and Vicky apologise, they can't actually be at the meeting this morning because they've actually got appointments. So we are quite busy, as with everybody else. We are introducing a new referral system. We've had a play with it, and Alison's been very good, and we've had a few through, and it's just highlighted a few tweaks that we need to make, so that's good. So we're hoping to roll that out in the new year, so that'll be good. So that was the main thing I wanted to say.
Also, those are the tweaks we're making, that if Claire, Arthur, your team take it on board, it should all be ironed out by then. So thank you. All right, so any other business then, folks? Anything?
Can I ask a question? I'm just interested to know, Captain Tom and the funds they raised for Captain Tom. I've asked a few people now in different NHSs, have they seen any of that money coming through? Because that's to support staff, and welfare, and, listening to you there today now, how busy and overwhelmed people are really, but that was to be about supporting people with welfare. I'm just asking the question of everybody because, he did raise millions of pounds.
I don't know where that money ended up. Yes, it's a very good question. Oh, you declare, yeah.
I know. All I know is my sister and sister-in-law are paramedics, and Captain Tom bought them each a flask to sit endlessly in the ambulances for 12 hours on site. But I just know that they each had a flask, which they both appreciated, and
little
didn't think
touches like that have gone around. Yeah. Oh, right.
That's all I know.
Interesting. Alison, did you have something about that then?
Yeah. So the Captain Tom money was sent to, or they were proportionally given to various trusts, and then the trusts decided, usually in conjunction with staff, as to how to spend it. So I know that at our trust, for example, everyone got a water bottle. There's been money that's gone into creating garden spaces, and new benches and things like that to help with staff well-being. So there's a variety of ways it's been used. So it has been used, but it's been used differently in different places, Jean, depending on what needs are, but usually in conjunction with sort of conversations with staff side teams as to how it's best used.
Kate, did you have something to add there?
Nothing to add to that. I have got a question.
Oh yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, I'm just thinking about how busy everybody is, and the complexity of these cases that you're supporting, and just thinking about the mental health support work that the Alliance are working on. I don't know if there's a clear-cut overlap, but I just wondered, is there anybody within your network that I could talk to about potentially working with somebody and bringing them into the development of that work? Who would...
The mental health support element.
Yeah, I don't know if it's as clear cut.
Not within the CAB really. I don't know if any the rest of you have got any ideas.
No,
I just.
Are you thinking something?
Well, I don't know if Andrew and Sally and everybody agree, but we are getting more complex cases in some instances, and so because St Richard's Hospice, for me, part of what they like is for me to do a lot of home visits and things like that. But I have spent hours really with some people just doing, it's not really citizens advice role, and it's not really AGUK's role, but and even the social prescribing services don't really seem to want to do it. But it's about these people who move from bereavement into depression, anxiety, not eating, staying in bed, and really can't motivate themselves. And there really is a lack of where to signpost. So for instance, I keep trying to empower somebody, if that's a good word or not, I don't know. I've taken her to the job centre. The job centre have been really, really nice in Worcester. That's all I can say. They have been really lovely. And they've said that she can come in and access a Universal Credit Journal and somebody will help her log on. But she won't do it. I think I've been out now for the 4th time this week, 2 hours, tried to, did the Universal Credit Journal bit with her again, got all that sorted again, then tried to talk her through it. No, I'll get my friend to do it. She phoned the hospice. One of our social workers had to phone the GP and organise the fit note and organise a prescription because she couldn't do it. So this is all somebody who's moving from bereavement into, I guess, I'm not a mental health worker, but some sort of deep, very deep depression. So I'm presuming that lots of people at Citizens Advice and the generalist advisors in particular as well are having a lot of this where people just you know, and I go into their homes and I can see that there's other things going on. They're not eating, the pets aren't being walked or looked after, you know, there's fleas. You know, there's lots of things going on and very complex. So but I don't know whose role that is, you know, and because it's not about online support.
No.
And the GPs don't know what to do. You know, the GPs are struggling with this as well. They're like, so I've got somebody, or last year in the year, I had somebody who wouldn't claim HIP or the LCWRA, you know, work capability assessment. She wouldn't go through the work capability. She won't take medication. And she won't speak to her GP, and she doesn't want a health assessment. So there's nothing I can do about that. But the GP is phoning the hospice because the GP says, but what are we going to do? She'll just, and I said, well, she'll hit a crisis and social services will come in and she may get sectioned. That's what we'll do. And that sounds like I'm some sort of really horrible cold person, but what else can we do? And the same with parents having young people with types of autism or Asperger's sitting in their bedrooms, you know, 18, 19 years old, and they're not claiming universal credit because they won't go through the process. So they're just sitting in a house in a bedroom, playing games, taking food from their parent and not engaging at all with the outside world. And of course, the parents who are getting older are getting really worried. But I mean, that's always been a carer problem for carers of children. But this is, you know, these are the sort of questions where, you know, a question that I had 2 weeks ago, you know, have you got anywhere for my son with Asperger's to go because he won't come out his room? Well, that's not my job, really. It's, you know, he needs to talk to the GP, he needs to get maybe a social prescriber, but he doesn't want to. So where do you go? So that's just my little input now, but I don't really know who you speak to about that.
Sophia, I was going to say, you know, there is a role for social prescribers in there, but if they won't engage with the social prescriber, they probably won't engage with the support worker either. And you know, it's I suppose you'll always have some clients in that category, but how do we get them the mental health support? It's that area of service is woefully under resourced, isn't it now? The waiting lists and I don't think we've got an answer on this forum really.
No,
you can put your hand up.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, one of our clinical psychologists at work, she might not be the person to speak to, but she certainly would know, well, certainly more than I do, but she might be able to signpost you to
What's out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if I can get your email address, I'll pass you on the details and see if we can work something out between us.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it may be that
mine here.
something's already in action, or I don't know, the strategic stuff isn't particularly my thing, but I just saw an opportunity, and if there's something we can do. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
Oh, if not, that's net at the end, but my email's in the chat.
Sally, did you hand up?
I've just noticed Claire put a message to say that Ange Gillett is in the waiting room. I don't know if you can let her in.
I thought I have spoken to her to say that, you know, obviously Claire, Ben and I have been on, so we've kind of shared all the information. So I'm not sure if she's still sitting there. Is she there?
I can't see her in the waiting room.
Yeah, she might have. She's just texted me as well on Messenger, said we're coming to the end of the meeting, but because obviously there's the three of us on this meeting, I think we should.
I don't. I've been trying to keep an eye on the waiting room, but
don't worry. She's just had 2 visits as
she's had to close.
Yeah, she's just
had to leave again, but yeah, apologies for that if I missed her. But yeah, I can't see her there now.
Yeah. No, she's probably gone off. It's difficult. But yeah, just to echo the comments about the mental health situation, exactly the same here, and it is very difficult to know who to turn to. You know, as I say, apart from the clinical psychology route, but our clinical psychologists would not take any referrals for anybody unless it's around cancer related concerns, even with pre-existing concerns. If they have cancer, if the issues are around the pre-existing concerns, unfortunately we don't have the capacity here to do that. So it really is a conundrum, so yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you all for obviously sharing. So yeah, unless there's anything else, we just need to set a date for. Will be a meeting in March. So I haven't got my calendar open. Sally, have you got your calendar open? Give me a date and share.
Bear with me 1 second. It's either a Tuesday or Wednesday. So if we're looking at March, at the same, could be Tuesday the 14th of March, Wednesday the 15th of March.
Perhaps we do a Wednesday next time, so we might get different. It's Wednesday today, isn't it? Yeah. Tuesday, perhaps you might get people on different work patterns, maybe. Yeah. Okay. So Tuesday the 14th, should you say?
Yeah. Tuesday the 14th of March.
At the same time at 10. Okay, well, as Nikki used to, I'll circulate the recording, link to the recording and that date, and I'll send a link for Kay's website if you want to sign up for a newsletter. Lovely. So I think we've talked around a lot of issues. That's great all, and we didn't put our Christmas hats on or get the mince pies out or anything. All right, but it remains to wish you all a very lovely Christmas, and I hope you get some peace and respite yourselves over the break. Yeah. All right. Take care all.
Happy Christmas, everyone. Bye.
Merry Christmas. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Merry Christmas.
Bye bye.